Passage 1 talks about how today we live in unequal societies. The author calls these trans-egalitarian societies, which have been formed after the forager societies, because the forager societies could not sustain an increase in scale and an increase in the storage. So as the concept of storage arose, as the scale of the societies arose, we could not sustain the equality that used to be prevalent in the forager societies. So the author talks about how today, in today's world, people, the elites, they wield their political influence they wield their wealth to buy political influence, which again produces more wealth, right? He discusses this important aspect. Then the author talks about how these elite societies are not something that have to be always there. We can still mitigate some of their effects. While we cannot go back to the forager societies, we can still mitigate some of their aspects. And social technologies can actually help us there. So he ends on this note that social technologies can, in fact, help us as they have helped China. So that example has been given towards the end. Okay. So with this information that we're talking about trans-egalitarian societies, let us deal with question 1. Question 1, which one of the following statements best captures the main theme of the passage? Okay. A says, people use their wealth to get political influence, which creates more wealth and power for them. While this is mentioned in the passage, it is not the main theme of the passage. It is just one of the aspects mentioned in the passage. This is a narrow option. B. Most of us live in unequal societies where small elites have more power and wealth. Again, this is mentioned in the RC passage, but this is not the essence. This is incomplete. This is narrow. It's just one of the sentences of the RC. For most of human history, we lived in egalitarian societies. So yes, the passage does mention that earlier the society that we had was an egalitarian one. We changed into inegalitarian, or as the author calls them, trans-egalitarian ones, with increase in scale and economic complexity. As the concept of storage, as the concept of scale arose, our societies became trans-egalitarian or inegalitarian societies. This is something that the author has stated in the passage, right? And moreover, it covers a number of paragraphs of the passage, the main idea that the author wants to convey. Let's look at D also. We should emulate China. No, the author, this is just one of the sentences towards the end where the author gives the example of China and says that they have used social technologies for increased surveillance on their elites. Okay. However, we should emulate China. This becomes beyond the scope of the passage. Okay, to mitigate the effects of imbalances of wealth and power, this becomes broad and beyond the scope of the passage, and it's not the essence of the passage. The essence of the passage is to trace this, that we were earlier foragers where the society was egalitarian. As the concept of storage and scale of the society increased, we turned into inegalitarian or trans-egalitarian societies, but we can still mitigate some of these imbalances. Okay, so C is the best here, and ABD could be easily eliminated because they were narrower beyond the scope. Easy question could have been attempted.